Right. So I wanted to make sure we have the opportunity to go through and do an introduction here. First off, just a reminder, I realize this is an online class. There's interactions every week and there's things that are expected. And since it's an online class, it can be out of sight, out of mind. I just want to follow up and say, uh, yeah, I know some of you are interacting on a pretty regular basis. Others, I get it. It's a bit of a struggle, just making sure that everything is done. But I just want to encourage you, please hold the line, make sure you stay active and diligent in order to receive credit. The forums, the discussion group needs to be done by Sunday of the first week. So by next Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, which will be the 17th at 11:59, your discussion should be turned in and completed. And then by the following week, the end of the following week, you should have responded to at least two to receive full credit. If you're the only one that posts, then I've given you full credit because you can't respond to other people who haven't posted. So I would just encourage you, make sure you hold the line, you're actively engaging. But I want to do an introduction for Unit 4, which begins tomorrow, or which begins, sorry, on October 12th. And so I want to make sure that we cover that in detail. So first off, your objectives for Unit 4, which begins on October 12th, which is in a few days here. I want to make sure that you have that introduction. First off, be able to discuss the first decade or so of Paul's ministry with relevant scriptures. You'll do this in your discussion board, on your discussion board for Unit 4. Be able to list the sequence of events in Paul's life, which will be both your lesson 4 and quiz 4. Develop an appreciation for the process and progression of new believers to Christian leader, from new believer to Christian leader, again in your discussion board. And then analyze and articulate the process and progression of discipleship in your own life, which you'll work out through your journal entry. Your readings will be Acts 9, 19b through 30, 11, Acts 11, 19 through 30. Acts 12, 25, Acts 22, 17 through 21, Galatians 1, 15 through 24, and Ephesians 3, 1 through 13. You'll also be reading Barnett, chapters 6 through 8, which is pages 76 through 133, and then Bruce, chapters 12 and 13, which is pages 113 through 133. Assignments, you'll begin working on your second memory verse. You'll have lesson 4, quiz 4, your timeline, which will be the early years section or portion of Paul's life, and then you'll have your discussion board, and then your journal 4, which the topic for journal 4 is to evaluate where you are spiritually with where you were 2 years ago. Consider describing your experiences with influential people and events over the last couple of years that made a difference in your life. So if you have any questions, please let me know, reach out. It is easier to get a hold of me by texting or calling. For emails this time of year, it's just I have multiple emails coming in, and a lot of them for the job that I'm doing, the season that we're in is just kind of a unique season, and it just makes for the New Hope email, it is a little harder, but I will get to those. I do process them every couple of days. I go through and just handle every one of them. I processed the last 3 days this morning just to make sure I was up to date. Didn't have any emails from you, but I did end up deleting 250 something emails from that email. And so there's just a lot that comes and goes, some of which is relevant, some is not. But with the text or call, no matter where I am, I'm able to see it and follow up. So I really appreciate that means of communication, just given the unique situation this semester. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm excited for what we're learning, and I appreciate working it out. Kariki, I really appreciate the discussion board and just trying to process Paul's faith and Hikai. I want to thank you for that. Just working out who Paul was. I think sometimes I want to challenge you with this, and I'll close with this. Sometimes when we read the life of biblical figures, we do not see them as realistic figures. We see them as these untouchable people that we put on a pedestal who almost are fictional characters that we look up to and we know we should be trying to model our life after, but in reality, it's unattainable. Now, there is not a single limitation that we have that they did not have. And there's not a single thing they did that we did not do. And sometimes we have to accept, instead of reading and saying, looking at their life and saying, man, that's something I could never be, instead saying, okay, let me change or reconsider the way in which I view the world through the lens, or view the world through the lens of these biblical characters, and consider maybe what they've experienced, their life holds something more for me, particularly, almost as if their life is a living example, breathing example, almost like a living person that you can communicate with. And I think being able to view characters such as Paul that way lends so much more credence, so much more authority to their life and what the Holy Spirit chose to communicate through the Bible concerning these stalwarts of the faith. So excited. Please engage. I realize it's hard. My wife makes the joke. She's like, man, online classes force you to adult hard, lots of self-discipline. And that's absolutely true. There's a level of self-discipline that has to go into this. So I would just encourage you, admonish you, hold the line, stay firm, and get work in. Go ahead and do back if you want to do some of the back assignments. There's pretty limited on what extra credit you can get, what credit I will give you for those, but anything is better than nothing. All right, have a great week, and look forward to reading. If you have not set up a time for your memory verse, please do so. I've got a few of you locked in. Would love to get that taken care of and nailed down. All right, thanks so much.